All right. So hopefully you learned a little bit about some of the marketing tools that are currently being done in the esports arena. And now jumping right into the stakeholders in the modern day esports ecosystem. And Fernando's going to give you some more information about this very topic.
Alrighty, thank you, Dennis. So, hopping right into it, we're going to look at all of the companies that are pretty much involved in the gaming ecosystem. So, when it comes from esports, publishers, distributors, hardware, and the users. Starting with the esports, we see a company such as Facebook, Amazon, Google, Riot Games, and Epic Games. These are all very big companies when it comes to the esports realm. Epic Games being the ones that run the Fortnite esports world, Riot Games who run League of Legends and their whole esports world, and then ESL who has their hands deep in a lot of different games such as Counter-Strike. So, these companies, they've started their whole world in esports by creating their own leagues and just pretty much running their leagues by being some of the publishers of their own games. Then, when we look at the publishers, such as Nintendo and Blizzard, Activision, Tencent, Bandai, and EA, these companies are some of the publishers of the biggest games in the esports realm as of right now. A lot of people don't know this, but Tencent Games is actually involved in, I would say, about 80%, if not more, of a lot of these companies' games. They're invested into every single company in the esports realm. And on top of that, they're involved in every single way possible. Nintendo, Activision, and Blizzard have all found their own successes and in their own games. And for Nintendo, it would be their own consoles, such as Sony and Microsoft, who have PlayStation and Xbox. And then even Apple, who has their own world of gaming on the mobile devices. When it comes to the distributors, we see a lot of companies such as GameStop and Steam, which Steam is probably the biggest when it comes to PC games, considering a lot of the PC world is on Steam and a lot of the games is on Steam. And then GameStop for the people who play on consoles. And for me, like, I'm somebody who I like to play with the physical copies of the games. I typically don't buy them right off of the stores on the consoles, which is a possibility, but I like to own the physical copy, the physical CD. So I'll go out to a GameStop and I'll find the games that I like and buy them there. Then when it comes to the hardware, the hardware is a very big part of the gaming world as a whole. It gives the players a lot of opportunities to use their favorite equipment. Let's say if it's Razer, who they make mouses, they make keyboards, they make controllers, headsets, whatever you name it, they are always involved, and it just gives the players an opportunity to choose the specific hardware that they want to use. Or for the people who play consoles, you have your options between Sony's PlayStation, Microsoft's Xbox, and the Nintendo Switch, which is their latest console. You have the option of choosing which platform you would want to play on. Then, when it comes to the users, a lot of these companies are just the sources of where you would be able to play these games from. And Valve, which is a company that has created a lot of the games for Steam, we see that Amazon even has their own things going on. Nintendo, they're one of the biggest, and they have been for a very long time, as we've seen in the whole Mario series. Sony, Apple, Google, and then of course again Tencent, which Tencent is involved in a lot of the gaming industry. Then lastly, we don't see any specific companies here, but when it comes to the esports organizations such as Team Liquid, Cloud9, and G2, who are backed by very big companies. In particular, I could say that Team Liquid is invested in by a lot of different companies, including people such as Disney and Magic Johnson, who's he's a part owner of the Lakers, and then one of the owners of Mandalay Bay is also invested into that team. So we see that investments come from all over for these esports organizations to back them.
Yeah. And I mean, the ecosystem, just to kind of continue to show how large it is. This is the ecosystem that has only been growing. So this reflects 2017, what the ecosystem looked like. Just imagine what it is now in 2020. And then it was a $122 billion ecosystem where money was being made, money was being funneled in or using to create the esports industry that we have today. And as you look at some of the names that are within the diagram here in the webinar, you would see a lot of familiar names that have their hands in a variety or multiple aspects of either it's esports, the publishing, the distribution, the hardware, or the users. So this ecosystem is not only is it growing, but it is growing with already big companies. So that means that it's only going to continue to get bigger and bigger. And making sure that you understand esports as a whole and where it's going is very valuable for parents, teachers, and students.
Exactly, exactly. And just to touch up on a lot of the, today's um, people who are involved, because I see that these are from 2017. But you know, if we take a look at, I believe it was last year or 2 years ago, a lot of these leagues, such as the League of Legends is professional league, Overwatch is professional league, they've all franchised their teams. So now they're not just the teams that were involved at first, but now they're franchised by bigger organizations, and a lot of them being sports teams, such as the Houston Rockets and the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Golden State Warriors. A lot of these teams now also are part owners of a lot of the teams in these leagues. So right here we see an image of the Rocket League Championship Series. So the Rocket League Championship Series is a series that gets played by 10 teams, and for this split runs from February 8th to March 8th, and they play multiple splits throughout the year with breaks in between. It's almost like multiple seasons, and they play for a prize pool of about $400,000, and a lot of these major esports organizations participate in it, such as NRG Esports, G2 Esports, and Cloud9, which are the some of the biggest esports organizations in the ecosystem right now. So we're gonna kind of dive deep into what exactly Rocket League is. Um, just starting it off, Rocket League is one of the major esports right now, and it has gained a lot of traction over the years. And to just generalize what Rocket League is, players work with their teams to advance the ball down the field. They score goals into their opponent's nets, similar to the game of soccer. Rocket League is a technical game which involves both high level dexterity and fast paced gameplay. While one of the most welcoming elements of the game is its accessibility and familiarity with the traditional sport of soccer, through a lot of practice, the best players are highly advanced and have fine tuned their mechanics. This this game is played on the three major platforms such as Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, with the ability of playing together on all platforms. So developing the necessary skills to play Rocket League. It's a simple game. It just actually, do we want to cut it there and we want to just go to the gameplay?
Yeah, we could do that. So hold on, go back to this slide. I was going to take a pause.
I was gonna say, we could cut it after I said developing, just pretty much saying the title,
Okay,
and then we
yeah.
can
Okay, cool, cool.
pause
Then
it
we
there,
can. Yep.
and then from there we'll switch the slide on the next one
Mm-hmm.
to go right here to analyze the video, and then this is the video, right?
Yes.
The slide.
Is it playing though?
No, for me it just
Okay.
says formatting this video.
So so we can talk on that slide. Um, sort of thing because we can talk on that slide and say, all right, let's go into the video.
Hmm.
and then we can kind of speak about the video because the video is not going to be uh that long.
Yeah, because I gave it a little bit of an intro
Oh, you did? Yeah, yeah, you did. So we don't
in
even
my
have
video.
to. Okay, so what
Yeah.
we'll do is we'll just kind of I'm thinking, yeah. I mean, I don't know how because I mean, you said when you said the skill sets, I think what before we go to the next slide,
Hmm.
we could probably elaborate and
A
say
little bit
why
on
this is
the.
a fun game and because
Hmm.
at this point what we're doing is we're talking to them about Rocket League. So we want to make sure what they understand, but also why they should kind of choose this game
Hmm.
and how it's going to benefit their kids and it's fun and you know what I'm saying, it's easy. And I know you probably have done that like somewhat in the video, but I think you were just
Yeah.
kind of talking like X does this, B does that. So right here is where I feel we should really hit home on ease of use and why they
Yeah.
should have a Rocket League tournament.
Okay.
So
So I guess here we could say, so Rocket League, being as simple as it is, it's very easy for anybody at any age group to learn the game.
mhm,
It also allows them to work on, I guess, like
team building and stuff
on
like
team
that.
building and
Yep.
teamwork with the other people on their team, because this game is, I guess, like before that, I'll explain how the game is played in threes, right? I'll just explain. All right, so Rocket League is a game that's played with three players on the field,
Got it.
or yeah, okay, all right.
All
This is
right, so we'll just read this title again,
yeah,
and then we'll just go into, with that being said, we just want to have some, um, we just want to show you some of the how it's played and the formatting. So this is just kind of talking about how fun it is, and but now we have a video to analyze some footage that shows you actually how to play the game, and
got it.
that's how we'll end this video.
Yep.
All right. So I just want to take a pause so that way
Yeah,
when I edit it, I'll know where.
I was gonna say if you want to do a little countdown, you can do that too.
Five, four, three, two, one.
Developing the necessary skills to play Rocket League. Rocket League is very simple in the fact that it's played by three people on one team, and it's three versus three. And it's just very easy for anyone at any age group to learn this game. It allows the players to work with each other and get better at team building exercises and just working as a team as a whole. And on top of that, again, it's very user friendly. It's very easy, and it doesn't require too much um, skills or efforts to be put in.
Yes, and I think it's in this particular game is ideal when you want to introduce esports to somebody who may not be that familiar with the gaming world. A lot of the games tend to have some advanced features. Rocket League has advanced features as well, but for your average student or parent or teacher or administrator, Rocket League is a great opportunity to have some team building skills, to introduce yourself and your students to esports in a different kind of way. And not only do you get to introduce them to it, but you actually can participate. Excuse me, you can participate. You can participate and play with them and have a different insight into the esports industry as a whole. So no longer do you have to kind of be a bystander or watch gameplay. Rocket League is the perfect opportunity for you to play with your students, play with your family, or play games in general.
Awesome. Alrighty. So and then from there, you cut it, and then we just go into analyzing the video.
Yep.
All right. Awesome. And then let's see. Lastly, would be this slide.
Yes.
Let's see. Do I? No, I have the bullet points over there.
Hold on, I'm gonna stop it. and then we'll go again when you're ready.
Yeah, just give me 1 second.
Yep.